Waiting for the all clear signal. There it is now. And away they go. Educate missed it just on a length. A little slow to begin towards the inside was Dover Street, and one of the best away was Pioneer. It races clearly in front now. Working into second position was the Centurion, and third on the inside, Synology. In fourth spot was Bolshevik. Educate trying to push through. Quick Manoeuvre 3 deep. Over on the rails, Dover Street, a length to Benazzi. 2 lengths to Breaker's Edge, and a similar margin back at the tail of the field, Defence Force. Along the side, inside the 800, Pioneer. 3/4 of a length in front. The Centurion went to second. 2 lengths away, Synology running third. Around it, the stablemate Bolshevik. Quick Manoeuvre 3 wide. Educate the centre, and over on the rails, Dover Street from Benazzi. Defence Force taken wide with Breaker's Edge. They're well bunched though. Inside the 500, and Pioneer led by a neck. The Centurion running second. Synology ridden up third. Bolshevik around it. Quick Manoeuvres under the whip, 3 wide. Benazzi's 4 deep, trying to run on with Breaker's Edge, and then Educate. Pioneer at the 300, led narrowly from the Centurion. Bolshevik 3 out. Synology waiting for the run back on the rails. Quick Manoeuvre getting bumped by Benazzi, who's running on very strongly. Pioneer the leader. Benazzi's after it on the outside though, and Bolshevik the centre. Oh, Benazzi lays in on top of Bolshevik, who had to stop riding at all, but Benazzi drew clear and won it by a length. Benazzi the winner. Second in Bolshevik, a half a head away. Third was Pioneer. Got very tight down the home straight. They were followed in by Quick Manoeuvre, Synology, Educate, the Centurion, Defence Force wide out, and then Breaker's Edge, and Dover Street was last over the line. Number 2, the winner, Benazzi, ridden by Eddie Wilkinson. One of 3 in the race, trained by Lee Friedman. Benazzi was about equal third pick in the race. Synology was the favourite. Bolshevik and Benazzi were about equal third picks. It did duck right in at about the 150 metre mark, and it looked as if it caused Greg Hall to stop riding for a stride or two on Bolshevik. Benazzi did look as if he had them covered, but was a bit green in the run of the line. Number 2, the winner. Second is number 3, Bolshevik, just getting the bob in ahead of 12, which is Pioneer. So it's 2, 3 and 12. Fourth in, number 1, Quick Manoeuvre, and fifth in was number 8, and that was Educate. Benazzi's by defensive play out of cross country. A 2-year-old brown colt raced by the Bury Management Limited syndicate manager Alan Bell, Mrs. D. Christensen, Mrs. B. Hayes and R. Anderson. Lee Friedman, the trainer. Eddie Wilkinson is the rider.
Moonee Valley.
Thank you, Nick. Open Affair, the favourite on the Super Tab, Carinya Habit. Away they go. Decent break, small field of 7 here. Northern Warrior, one of the first out with Nitro. Plush Rule was wider. Proud Poet 4th, but 3 deep around Inkerman and Carinya Habit on the rails. And Worthy Knight was last as they run into that first turn, approaching the 1200. And Plush Rule worked across the lead. Proud Poet now goes up to second. Northern Warrior third the rails. Nitro's now found itself 3 deep around Inkerman, and on the inside was Carinya Habit, and a length and a half to Worthy Knight last. 1100 left to go, and Plush Rule in front. And Plush Rule leads by a length and a half. Proud Poet second, a similar gap third, Northern Warrior. Nitro still travelling wide. Carinya Habit pokes through along the rails. Inkerman a half a length away second last, and a length to Worthy Knight at the tail of the field. Down the side they go. They've got 800 left to run, and the leader is Plush Rule, the bolter in this small field of 7. And Plush Rule leads about a half a length to Proud Poet, away from the rails now. Northern Warrior third. Nitro's always been 3 deep. Carinya Habit getting up on the inside of Inkerman, and Worthy Knight's under the whip a length away. Quickly Proud Poet hit the lead inside the 600. Northern Warrior after it. Nitro still coming 3 out. Plush Rule gone. Inkerman goes to 4th around Carinya Habit, and a length away Worthy Knight. Plush Rule dropped out. Proud Poet at the 400, led by Neck. Northern Warrior second. Nitro's under the whip. Inkerman battling away behind them, and then Carinya Habit taken out wide. Proud Poet led on the turn by a head, but Northern Warrior is going up to it, trying to get out Inkerman, and Carinya Habit to the outside. Northern Warrior hit the lead. Carinya Habit's after it out wide. The leader, Northern Warrior. Carinya Habit is wearing it down. Carinya Habit hit the lead from Northern Warrior and Nitro, and Carinya Habit. Carinya Habit's won it. Second in Northern Warrior. Nitro a good effort third. Then Proud Poet, Inkerman, Worthy Knight, and Plush Rule was last. Winner number 3, Carinya Habit. Ridden by Greg Childs. Horse was going nowhere over on the rails, but when he pulled it to the outside, it was able to rally and improve its spot and even its attractability in the run, because it was going nowhere at the 400, back on the fence, and pulled around them. And number 3 has been able to get to the post and win. From number 5, Northern Warrior, who certainly looked to have Proud Poet covered coming to the home turn, but just couldn't hold off Carinya Habit in the last 100 metres. And Nitro was 3 wide for the entire trip. Has battled on very well. A good effort by the third place Nitro. Proud Poet will be fourth and Inkerman fifth. Number 3.
There's Rev and Let Rip for Gary Buchanan moving into line as we take it to Tony Campbell and say hello to Tony on the first event at Canberra.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Good afternoon to you. Happy Australia Day to all the viewers right around Australia. This is the first of big night events here in Canberra this afternoon, a very exciting program. And they're moving in for the first. A little bit overcast, but it's fine. High cloud. And the track rated dead for this night event program this afternoon. Now, waiting on Jabberwocky to move along, and we'll have a start in the first, a big field of 2-year-olds. Just for the information of the punters, President Park's resuming today. It's now a gelding. It raced as a colt. It's only had the one start. That was back on the 12th of October, but is resuming today as a gelding trained by Frank Cleary. It's well supported. Now the line is just about set. Just waiting on the starter to come around and release the field, and away they go. Now, President Parks didn't jump all that well, but Jabberwocky got away very quickly. Rev and Let Rip, and out wide was Yundung, and King of Dances not too far away. Now, President Parks getting right up behind that leading division. In behind those in the field, Pittons followed further back to Lucilla. Drifting back a bit was Tan Dynasty, followed by County Harvest and Final Glimpse, and Better Prospect at the tail of the field, and Jabberwocky. It's a mile behind them as they race up towards the turn, and it's Rev and Let Rip down towards the inside, joined now by Karate out wide. In between those, Circuit Bit and going wide on the turn. Then came Pittons, followed further back in the field, Yundong and President Parks on the rails. And a long break behind those, Lucilla, followed by Final Glimpse. And County Harvest is the widest runner, back behind those, Better Prospect. At a long last, something must have gone amiss with Jabberwocky. In the straight down towards the 200, Pittons has raced up and dashed to the lead. Battling on fairly well, Karate down towards the inside. And the next one was Yundong running on, followed by County Harvest. But Pittons drifting wide in the straightest, nicely clear. And Pittons races away to win it well. Pittons first, County Harvest second, King of Dances third. In behind those in the field, Yondong, followed by Karate. Then Better Prospect, further back to Tan Dynasty, followed by Final Glimpse. A long break, then Circuit Bid. President Parks well back in the field, followed by Lucilla. The next one across the line, Rev and Let Rip, and I'm not too sure what happened with Jabberwocky, but it was a long, long last all the way. Now the time for the race, 1 minute .75. 1 minute .75 for the running of that race. Pittance, trained by John Morrissey. Trained by John, ridden by Matthew Carl, raced by the Tavistock Park Stud Syndicate Proprietary Limited Syndicate. The managers P and Mrs. J.M. Pascoe, a 2-year-old bay colt by Snippets out of Vintage Dance. Well, it was this day last year that John Morrissey trained 7 out of 9. And he certainly started this year off on the right note, so to speak, with number 2 Pittance beating number 6 County Harvest, Rowley Saxton, and third number 4 King of Dance is a good run, the rider Kerry Mitchell. The numbers should read 264, and that was a very good win by Pittance, having its second start today, and trained by John Morrissey. 2-year-old bay colt by Snippets out of Vintage Dance, and of course, as we know, the Snippets breed do like the sting out of the ground. We'll have more from Canberra in just a moment.
Thanks, Tone. Now,
it's certain to happen. Kapalua Beach, the inside runner. 5 of them steady down. Starter hits the button and they're off. 2 Ristic on the outside, a shade tardy. Kapalua Beach bounced out in front of Dalmara. Joined is going to settle down in third spot, followed by Tia Set, and a head away on the outside to Ristic. At the end of 200 metres, the pace is dawdling. Kapalua Beach by about 3/4 to Dalmara, who's pulling. A little more than 2 to Tia Set on the inside of Joined, and 2 to Touristic last of the 5. The pace is very muddling in the run to the first turn at the 1100 mark. Kapalua Beach pulling double, led by a half length to Dalmara, a length and a half to Tia Set, a length away Joined, and 2 to Touristic at the tail of the field. Coming around the first turn and approaching the crossing at the 800 metres mark, Kapalua Beach the leader by about 3/4 to Dalmara, a length and a half to Tia Set, Joined in the centre, and the rider of Touristic is not happy with the pace, and he's taking off 3 deep and allowing that mare to stride up and take closer order. 700 out as they come down the side. Kapalua Beach the leader over Dalmara. Touristic is now getting to third, followed by Tia Set, and Joined as last of the 5, but is only 4 off the lead as they near the corner. 500 metres out. Kapalua Beach in front over Dalmara. Touristic is 3 deep on the turn, followed by Tia Set, and Joined is last of the 5 as they flatten for the run of the judge. Coming over the rise now, and Dalmara has raced up quickly to tackle Kapalua Beach. Touristic putting in her claim, and Joined is now taken to the extreme outside. She's got the last shot at the man, is looking a danger. Kapalua Beach, Tia Setters now getting up on the fence. What a race. Only 5 starters. Joined on the extreme outside and Touristic have come away. Joined takes the lead close to home. Good on you, Tom Murray. And Joined came away to beat Touristic, and Kapalua Beach has run third, followed by Dalmara with Tia Set after joining the leaders 100 metres out, weakening in the last bit to finish last. Congratulations to Tom Murray, preparing a Randwick winner in the shape of Joined in very famous family colours. Green, black sleeves, red cap. And Tom, of course, a third-generation horse trainer. And he follows a very hard act, of course. His dad, the late, great Pat Murray, who passed away just recently. And Tom is fully aware of the fact that Pat's going to be a hard act to match. But Tom will be in there doing his absolute best. Joined to pay $12 and $3.70. $12 and $3.70. Lovely. $12.90 that should be. $12.90 and $3.70. Lovely cold ride by Kevin Moses. Was last of the 5 turning for home. Wound that mare up and Joined to finish best to beat Touristic. Touristic $1.30 and no tote for Kapalua Beach. 6.45, Quinella 13.20, trifecta 171.40 and the exacta 64.30. And they took the margins down before I could get them. What's that, Bruce?
Kevin's off to Malaysia tonight. Kevin's off to Malaysia.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Cox tells me that Kevin Moses, he's got one other ride, has he? 2 more, and then he races home to pack his bag to catch a plane for Malaysia, where he has a short-term contract. He's away for how long?
Back on the 11th, by the 11th of February.
Back Feb 11, Kevin Moses. He's off for a short-term stint in Malaysia, where he'll do very, very well. Lovely ride here by Kevin on Joined, but he's famous for that kind of patience. A typical...
Ready, race 3, they're off now. Oh, they're getting caught up in the stalls. There was with Latella at the start, and it just won't go. It stayed there, and it's stuck there, and it won't go. Coming down the straight the first time, and it's Her Independence in front of Baby, and wider out Gaelic Joy. Corinthian Arch was 4th, and Beaufort Miss was 5th. Rhubarb 6th. Alfred's Jewel on the outside of Kitty's Wish, and a length away Red Nelda, and the other one took absolutely no part in the race, and that was Latilla. Heading out of the straight with 1,600 left to travel. Her Independence leads by 3/4 of a length to Gaelic Joy. Baby third the rails. Corinthian Arch is 4th on the outside. Then the grey Beaufort Miss. A length away Rhubarb 6th. Kitty's Wish on the inside of Alfred's Jewel, and Red Nelda is back at the tail of the field. And Latilla just would not go, got stuck in the stalls and took no part in the race. They head to the 1,300 metres now, and Her Independence is the leader. Half a length to Gaelic Joy. Baby with a run of the race, 3rd on the inside of Corinthian Arch. Then Beaufort Miss on the inside of Rhubarb. The favourite is well placed, about 4 lengths off the lead, running 6th on the outside. 2 lengths away Alfred's Jewel on the outside of Kitty's Wish, and a length and a half to Red Nelda last, but about 7 lengths off the lead. 1,000 metres left to travel, and it's Her Independence, only a half a length to Gaelic Joy. 2 lengths away 3rd Corinthian Arch. On the rails Baby 4th, a length and a half to Rhubarb. Then Beaufort Miss, which is the grey on the rails. A length to Alfred's Jewel moving into the race, and then Kitty's Wish, and Red Nelda ridden along was last. Inside the 800 they head now, and it's Her Independence being joined out wide on the track by Corinthian Arch and Gaelic Joy the centre. Rhubarb called on, moving into the race, goes to 3rd. Gaelic Joy looked beaten. Baby ridden up, and then Alfred's Jewel. Heading to the 400 now. Corinthian Arch got a half a length past Her Independence. Rhubarb setting sail, and Alfred's Jewel runs on. Up to the turn now. Corinthian Arch ahead in front. Her Independence comes back. Rhubarb makes a line of 3 and a length and a half to Alfred's Jewel running on, but Rhubarb hit the lead on the home turn from Corinthian Arch. Alfred's Jewel runs on, looks the threat to Rhubarb. Coming down to the 100 metres though, Rhubarb's a length in front. Alfred's Jewel can't get to her at the moment, then Corinthian Arch. Rhubarb's a length clear. Alfred's Jewel won't get to her, and the favourite Rhubarb wins it. Rhubarb first, 2nd Alfred's Jewel, 3rd in Her Independence, a nose to Corinthian Arch. Then Baby, Beaufort Miss, Red Nelda, Gaelic Joy and Kitty's Wish. And Latilla wouldn't go for one reason or another. Was stuck in the stalls and took no part in the race. Number 1 is the winner, and that is Rhubarb, Damien Oliver. A polished ride. Bit unlucky this mare last start. She's looking for ground, and you would think that she's going to get a bit further than 2,000 metres. She's very strong. Number 1, trained by Brian Mayfield Smith. For the owners, HR and Mrs. S. O'Neill, J. Canellan, C. Ludesha, G. Burke, and the Memoir Syndicate, manager M. Fernan. Damien Oliver, the rider. Number 1 beats 2, Alfred's Jewel, the Theo Howe trained 4-year-old mare ridden by Michael Carson. And officially third is number 7, Her Independence, Luke Curry. So 1, 2, 7. Here's the start of the race and the horse in question, Latilla. It's right in the middle of that circle, and attendance in with her. And, well, she's done it herself, really, hasn't she? She's curled up, seemingly, and just didn't want to go. And even there, it looks as if she wants the pig route. Now, unless there's some other reason for why she's trapped, but she looked as if she was going to jump with him, and she just curled around a little bit and took no part. She didn't even come out of the gates.
Harlem Queen, just waiting on that light. Now they're set. They're off. That was a good start, although Kerala went back to the tail of the field and Heroine Star got away well. Driving through Miss Pinehurst, followed by Udell, and getting up along the inside was Basita. In behind those, Kerala gaining ground off the track. Goodwood goes up towards a prominent position. Further back behind those, Full Harvest, followed by Sacred Halo. A long break to Harlem Queen, and Brilliant Fashion is at the tail of the field. Brilliant Return with about 600 metres to go. And Kerala moved up on the outside of Miss Pinehurst. Udell between those. There's a line of 3. Off the track running on was Goodwood, followed by Brother Mick, and then Basita down towards the inside. Back behind those group was Heroine Star, followed by Sacred Halo, and well back on the turn was Harlem Queen, followed then by Brilliant Return. In the straight with about 300 to go, Udell the Grey is taken on by the other grey, Kerala on the outside. Down towards the inside, Sacred Halo is running on very solidly. Then Brother Mick, followed then by Goodwood out very wide, but Sacred Halo darted through and hit the lead. Battling on was Basita, followed by Kerala. It's Sacred Halo the leader. Kerala's coming very quickly near the line, but too late, and Sacred Halo's held on. Sacred Halo has beaten Kerala. Now third, I think, Basita from out wide, Goodwood, followed by Heroine Star. In behind those, Udell, then Brother Mick, well back, Full Harvest. The next one across the line was Harlem Queen, followed by Miss Pinehurst, and Brilliant Return was the last one to pull up after race 2. Number 9, Sacred Halo, right through on the inside, ridden by Jamie Late. Now Kerala will get second. Now it's fairly close for third. We had a couple out very wide. Goodwood was out wide. And from memory, the other one was Basita. But Sacred Halo, a good ride by Jamie Late, darted through on the inside and held off Kerala. And Goodwood out wide, or Basita, I think the other one was. Maybe Basita down towards the inside may have lasted for third, but it's very, very close. But Sacred Halo just beating Kerala. And Judge will probably call for the photo for third. Basita out wide was Goodwood. The winner, Sacred Halo, is raced by C.D. Late, A.J. Gaines, C.D. Smith and T. Antonovich. A 3-year-old chestnut filly by Don't Say Hello out of Dolza Torre, trained by Never Late, ridden by Jamie Late. So it will read 9, 4 and a photo. We'll have more from Canberra in just a moment.
We'll have that third number through in a moment. Thanks, number 9, Sacred Halo, $8.51.90. Kerala at $4. Basita at $2.20. Quinella 61, Exacta 85.60. And the trifecta $530.90 on race number 2 at Canberra.
An outside gate. Congress, the inside runner. Rebel Royal stands in nicely with Bugatti and High Typhoon. The gates open, they're off. High Typhoon began awkwardly. He was a little flat-footed, and Jim Cassidy's got to bustle him along in the early part. Medals and Congress are the joint leaders, but High Typhoon is mustering great early pace and is quickly scooting between those, and it's a line of 3 going over the crossing at the 800, followed by Rebel Royal and then Fair Raider, and Bugatti is now easing back to be last of the 6, coming to the 600 metres mark. Medals strides clear by 2.5 to Congress on the inside of High Typhoon, who's galloping with his head rather high. Then Rebel Royal on the outside of Fair Raider, and back at the tail is Bugatti. Coming around the turn, Medals the leader by a length to High Typhoon. He's got the head right up. He's looking around everywhere. 2.5 lengths away, Rebel Royal, followed by Congress and Fair Raider. Medals going strongly over the rise. In fact, he got away from High Typhoon. Rebel Royal has run into second place and is finishing on doggedly, and further out is Fair Raider. Medals clear with 150 to go. Rebel Royal in second place. Fair Raider can't do any better, but Medals is holding them easily at bay, and Medals is going strongly to the line and wins it nicely by more than 3 lengths to Rebel Royal, with Fair Raider third. High Typhoon is fourth. A long way back Bugatti, and last of the 6 is Congress. An easy one to Medals, ridden by Larry Cassidy, and Medals pays $4.30 and $1.90. Larry Cassidy, along with brother Jim, are both off to Melbourne after the Randwick meeting to fulfil commitments tonight at Moonee Valley. Medals 430 and 190. Second Rebel Royal, a nice run first up. Place dividend $4 and no tote for the third place getter, Fair Raider. So the numbers should be 1, 5 and 8. 158. Winner to pay 430, 190, $4, no third. High Typhoon hasn't got a clue. He was half asleep when the starter said go. He was sound asleep. He was snoring. He missed it, probably 3/4 of a length, and looked to sprawl when he came out. Jim Cassidy dug him up, and he did show good pace. He darted between Medals and Congress to join those leaders. But all he did from about the 600 to the top of the rise was poke his big melon straight up in the air and look at everything. He had a look at the testing laboratory. He had a look at the pony club floats. He had a look at the infield ponds. Thought I saw him look up here at one stage. And while all that was happening, Medals shot away with the race in his keeping. So they've gone off too early with High Typhoon, who's very, very green. And the experience will do him the world of good. Mind you, when you look at how far he got beaten, even if he'd kept his head down, he mightn't have won, because he finished a long way from the winner. Medals, on the other hand, had 2 previous starts, and the experience stood him in great stead, and he'd run second at one of those starts at Canberra to Hancock. Winning margin 3.5 lengths, with a length and a half second and third. Time is 1:05.86, just a whisker outside the class record held by Dashing Eagle. 1:05.86. Quinella 1980, trifecta 96.20, course double 128.80. And during my absence, I've lost track of how many winners Larry Cassidy's ridden, but he must be getting horribly close to the 80.
My Carinya Habit in the previous event to the favourite Rhababa. Ready, race 4. The grey calf tonight a bit on the toe. Racing now. Centiro jumped well in the centre, as did Comet King out wide on the track, and pushing through Brugal Force in the first 100 metres or so. Danford's going to be prominent on the rails about 4th, a bit tight for Tumblehome and Centiro there. Oh, there's not much room at all. Danford got checked, they were far too tight. Tumblehome gets the spot on the leader's back now, and Danford will be 3 back along the inside. Still very tight here. There's not much room for Centre Century and also Centiro. Carptonite 4 deep is ridden up now and goes up to join Brugal Force out of the straight. It's the grey Carptonite in front, Brugal Force on the inside of it. 2 lengths away, third Tumblehome, around it 4th Comet King. Then Centre Century on the inside of Centiro. A length and a half to Danford, inside of Alpha El Mahdi. And back at the tail we had Tomahawk Tom, who sits on the outside of Briglia. That's Tomahawk Tom, second last. 1,300 left to go. And the leader, Brugal Force, by about 3/4 of a length to Carptonite. Tumblehome third, the inside. Comet King 4th. A length back 5th on the rails, Centre Century. 1.5 to Centiro. 2 lengths to Danford on the inside of Alpha El Mahdi. And then Tomahawk Tom second last on the outside of Briglia. About to run down the side. 900 left to travel. And the leader is Brugal Force, about 3/4 of a length to Carptonite. Comet King third, Tumblehome gets 1 off the fence 4th, and getting up on its inside, Centre Century. 1.5 to Centiro. Tomahawk Tom out wide starts to improve, and then Danford on the inside of Alpha El Mahdi and Briglia as they bunch up. 700 to go. Brugal Force has to be ridden along a bit. Carptonite's just about joined it. Out 3 wide was Comet King, Tomahawk Tom, Centre Century and Tumblehome are right behind them, and then Centiro, Briglia, Danford under the whip and Alpha El Mahdi. Comet King and Carptonite together inside the 400 now. From Tumblehome into the clear. Then Centre Century, Brugal Force, Tomahawk Tom, Centiro not doing a lot, and then Briglia, Alpha Amadi and Danford as they turn. Carptonite kicked back to lead into the straight. Tumblehome is after it though. It's Carptonite being tackled by Tumblehome, then Centre Century, Briglia. Tumblehome on the outside took the lead from Carptonite with 50 to go. Tumblehome's going to win. He draws past Carptonite. Centre Century third, but Tumblehome's 1.5 a length to Carptonite. Third, Centre Century, then Alpha El Mahdi, Centiro, Briglia. Danford didn't have the best of luck in the early stages, and then Brugal Force, Tomahawk Tom and Comet King has weakened out of it to pull up at the tail of the field. Number 7, the winner, Tumblehome, ridden by Brett Preble. Number 7, he was fortunate enough to get the spot on the leader's back when they went out of the straight. It was very tight for room. There was 3 or 4 horses vying for the one spot. a spot which Tumble Home was fortunately able to occupy once they left the straight. Danford was a bit unlucky there. He got checked, and Santiro was also in some difficulty, but number 7 was too strong. Like the look of this fellow, he's by Salieri out of the Sign Is Right. A very good 4th at Flemington 2 runs ago, where he was most unlucky. I've no doubts he would have figured in the finish that day, and then bolted in a much easier assignment last start. Trained by Leon Corsons, raced by TR Senior and Mrs. VC, Miss R and S Travascus. Trained by Leon Corsons and ridden by Brett Preble. Defeats Carp tonight, who did a good job. A big grey, who's still learning with the racing, but he looks a promising stayer, trained by John Sadler and ridden by Jason Patton. And 3 Centre Century, trained by Bart Cummings and ridden by Greg Hall, has battled on into 3rd. 7-6-3, 4th in number 1, and that was Santiro. 5th in was number 8, Alpha Amadi, and 6th in was number 9, Briglia. 7-6-3 are the official placings. Half a length by 2 1/4. In Tumble Home, he looks a promising sort of a horse, a nice stayer in the making, the winner of the 4th event. Race 4 at Moonee Valley. Brennan Parnell's special for Morfordville race 2 is number 1, Next Tycoon. So Next Tycoon is the special in the next at Morfordville. That race only 3 minutes away and still at a bit of value there at $3.70. Moonee Valley race 4, it's 7, 6 and 3. Nick will bring you up to date with all of the details, which include the tote dividends on race 4 at Moonee Valley.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Yes, 219, the selections from Ron, and the second from Adelaide today too. That's number 2, Pantala, to win. All right, now Canberra, the Cold Seas maiden handicap over 1,000 metres. Line's pretty close to being set as we take it to Tony.
Now the line is set for the 3rd. Just waiting on that light. Never Before stands up, Concord Flight, Home County and Jorrell. Starter has a look over the line. There's the light. And away they go now. Never Before missed it by about a length or so. Concord Flight didn't jump all that well. Home County is showing speed, and Thanks for Ringing driving through. Royal Imperialist 3rd on the inside, followed by Prince Gemma, then Princess Maria. Out wide on the track was Jorrell, followed by Bold Idaho. A long break behind those settling down Concord Flight, followed by Fine Display. And about 2 or 3 Never Before at the tail of the field. They're going fairly quickly as they race up towards the turn. Home County well clear. About 3 over Thanks for Ringing running on, followed by Royal Imperialist. Running 4th is Prince Gemma on the outside. A break behind those Bold Idaho. Then Princess Maria well back Concord Flight, followed by Jorrell Fine Display. In the straight with about 350 metres to go. Home County shaken up as the leader. Thanks for Ringing moved up on the outside. Locked away looking for a way out there was Royal Imperialist, and Prince Gemma's on the outside, and then Concord Flight. Thanks for Ringing is the leader. Prince Gemma running on fairly well and into the clear now. Concord Flight is coming very quickly. It's Thanks for Ringing the leader, but Concord Flight swept past the leader near the line, and Concord Flight too good. Concord Flight the winner. Thanks for Ringing second. Royal Imperialist 3rd. Then Prince Gemma, followed by Jorrell, Bold Idaho, Princess Maria. Well back Never Before, followed by Fine Display. And the early leader Home County weakened and finished last. By good win by Concord Flight, John Scourse. 2:12.6 should be the numbers. 2:12.6 after race 3. The number 2, the winner, Concord Flight, a very impressive winner. Second, number 12. Thanks for Ringing, who looked all home. The winner went a race to the lead. And number 6, Royal Imperialist, another place getter for that particular galloper. Now the winner, Concord Flight, trained by Barbara Joseph, ridden by John Scourse, raced by RGRK and DK.